my product is called Weight Train. Weight Train is a web-based application that brings training restaurant employees into the 21st century. It makes restaurant owners more money by basically raising the intellectual capital of their employees. So basically, the existing landscape of training in a restaurant is you start working somewhere, you get hired, they give you a menu and hopefully a manual, you bring it home, they tell you to memorize it, and you either do or don't. You show up, you shadow someone, and you shadow a person who may or may not be fit to train other human beings, but that's how it is. You train them and you probably start working sooner than you should. They put you out on the floor. Why is this a bad thing? Basically, it comes down to it loses money for the owner of the restaurant, and basically it leads to a lame experience for all stakeholders, those being the employees, the management, and the customers. Some of the reasons are inconsistent food and service. We have low employee morale and high turnover. So basically, I've developed a web-based application that's about halfway done. It starts out with an interactive menu where the employees can learn about, obviously, the menu items. We have name, we have title, description, which is on the menu, and this is how they typically learn. But we also have ingredients, and then basically, next page. This is a screenshot. We have ingredients. They can learn about the ingredients, click on them, and it's interactive instead of just getting like a piece of paper. We also have upsells, which restaurants are big on. It goes well with white wine here, and then dietary, like if basically people are becoming more and more aware of dietary needs, kosher, gluten-free, vegetarian. And then we have quizzes. They go through courses. We have quizzes. Here we have an example where they're matching up ingredients to the entree item. This is all trackable by management. Management can see who is fulfilling the requirements for the course, what kind of their pass percentages are and whatnot. We also have health and safety, which restaurants are very big on. Here we have the danger zone. If you've ever taken a service safe course, you know about the danger zone. And then we also have everything else is the library. So they learn. I have a big wiki type setup with food and alcohol and then service techniques. And it's focusing on front of house right now, but also focuses on back of house with food preparation and all that. I also have a really awesome setup where it hooks into the wine.com API, and it tells you about everything about wine, which is going to be a big plus for the wine serving restaurants. And then the users can also add their own content here. Target market is restaurants, and then obviously we venture out to the rest of the hospitality sector. We have hotels, casinos, and then other retail operations such as convenience stores and grocery stores. And then it's also mobile, so they can use it on their phones. Obviously it's web-based, but you can use it on your phone and tablet and whatnot, which is following the trend of restaurant workers in general. Revenue is monthly subscription. They pay based on tiers, based upon the number of employees in the restaurant, and then also location. So obviously chain restaurants are where the money's at more so, but over 93% of restaurants in the U.S. are not chain restaurants. And then we have a setup fee. As far as gaining market share, building partnerships with industry organizations like National Restaurant Association, big players, target the users as well as the buyers. So trying to get up the employees themselves as a different way than just marketing to the restaurant owners and management. Get creative with snail mail. I've seen some really good ideas with snail mail. Money back guarantee, transparent pricing. Currently, there are other solutions out there like this, but it's generally consulting based, and they charge you, anywhere between $10,000 and $50,000, and they customize and it's usually paper based. They provide you with all your training manuals and whatnot. But here we have it online, and a lot of things are common to certain restaurants. AdWords, obviously, it's a big market. There's a ton of restaurants. 1.4 million more jobs within the next decade. And I have buy-in from Stella, Naked Pizza. Talked to Mark Cuban, he likes it. Naked Pizza has 450 locations, and then Olive Branch is a restaurant in New Orleans with 2 locations, and I'm going to start it there in 2 weeks, hopefully, if I can finish it up. But they've provided me with all their training materials and agreed to let me use them as a guinea pig as a pilot restaurant. And that's it.
Questions from our panelists?
Tell us about what made you think about this, or a little bit about your background, what led you to.
Yeah, I've worked in a ton of restaurants, more than most people probably. Some of them, my freshman years at LSU, some of them at LSU. A lot of it was really bad training situations where they just throw you with someone and they tell you that you should learn, this is how you learn. And a lot of times a person isn't fit. Bigger places like an Outback or somewhere will have people who they have as trainers. But it just leads to a bad experience, and the high burn rate of restaurants have the highest turnover rate. And part of that is obviously due to the money you make, but also it's just like how they're trained in the first place. And the management might have high expectations, but then they don't train you at all, and it just leads to a bad experience as an employee.
Is anyone else doing this right now? Or?
Yeah, there's a company that's doing the exact same thing. I found out it's called People Matter. They've raised 2 rounds of $14 million. While it is competition, I think that's a good thing. That's validation for the idea. They're doing the exact same thing. They have a hiring module for tracking online applications, and they have training, and then they have a scheduling, and then they also have a culture, trying to get restaurants to build culture, which they're often really lacking.
So given that you have this competition out there, what's your strategic advantage over that group?
Yeah, so I'd say if you're familiar with 37 Signals and their products, they have 4 products, but one of them is called High Rise, and it's catered towards small businesses. So I focus on the small businesses, whereas this other big company is more like a Salesforce type company, much more expensive. This would be more transparent and focus on smaller restaurants, and also, like I said, over 93% of restaurants in the U.S. are actually single unit locations.
We have time for one more question from the panel or from the audience. From our audience, yes.
Yes, I have a question. So, like, the intern, I forgot your name, but you're sick. Nikki. Thanks, Nikki. The question from the previous presentation about the gaming, did you think of any kind of social or fun aspect to playing into this?
Oh, right. Yeah, I put this together quickly. There's a social aspect where the employees, instead of just making training something lame that they don't look forward to, there has a game aspect. So right now I'm building out the badge part, and as they progress, they get badges. It's called Flair right now. I didn't want to call it badges. Flair is a little cheesy, but it's called Flair. They can also interact with each other and sort of compete. So like instead of just being a single entity, you don't know what the other people are doing. You can see how the other employees are progressing, and it's also not just for new hires. I have a place where there's ambassadors, so like the really good, people who've been there for a while can actually train and help push the other employees through the course. Yeah.
If you're working in that fashion, you may consider extending the social network to the customer base with that type of application and allow them to participate by awarding points and other components that critique the wait staff and the restaurant, which would allow quite valuable social networks.
Yeah, that'd be great feedback. Yeah.
Max, thank you very much.